Hey guys, hope everyone's doing well here. This is gonna be an adjustment for me because well, yeah, lots changed in the last weekend. That's for sure. It's still a little smoky over here in Atlanta actually, and this MCS is actually heading my way. S Not gonna be that impressive. It may not even make too much of anything, make too much of a ruckus over here. But there's multiple modes of severe weather to keep track of. In fact, I'm still scrambling because this is a new PC, by the way, guys. I hope you like what you're seeing so far. Hopefully, things are a little bit more clear. The screen's a little bit wider, so we can fit more stuff on here. So, yeah, it's pretty nice. I got to set up voice chat because some of the guys will be in tonight. So, it's gonna be a fun one. Just give me a moment here. I'm actually about to set up VC right now. Also, anyone that's just jumping into the chat for the first time, we have a new mod. His name is Isaiah. So be sure to tell him congratulations if you haven't already. Wow, if you hasn't. But anyway, give me 1 second here and we'll get going. Uh, okay, there we go. All right, testing 1 2.
Testing 3 4.
Really? 5 6. How about that? Pick up sticks. Yeah.
Don't tell me what to do.
Okay. I don't even have like a good comeback for that, so I just said okay. That's kind of sad, honestly. But what do you think so far? What do you think of the picture contingents? As far as the computer is concerned. Like we got it in an actual like radar loop and it looks smooth.
Yeah, it's clearly way faster.
Yeah, this is so much better. It just feels better just even doing this right now. I think I have the latency a little too high. I was overthinking that a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I saw some of that, but of course I wasn't really able to go live. I'm honestly still setting stuff up on this computer. Speaking of which, where are we wanting to look? Are we going to start with the MCS in the southeast, or are we going to start to shift our attention more so towards the northern plains? What are you feeling?
Um, why don't we, since the currently active storms are happening, uh, closer over to like Tennessee, why don't we start there?
Okay. Yeah, it's actually closer to my area too, actually. This little secondary leg of this MCS here is a little bit more interesting to me because when I looked at HRRR, by the way, I used the updraft helicity and I did see a couple of streaks here. So it does kind of pique my interest a little bit too. So, ooh, there's a camera right here. Yeah, Isaiah, it'll go through Atlanta, but it won't go through a severe limit. It probably won't be severe. It won't be like what it was earlier.
How nice is it to be able to switch between radar sites like that?
Oh my goodness, like I'm so happy right now. Like I can't describe how happy I am right now. Like this feels amazing. Like truly it does. Like it's a breath of fresh air unlike anything. Isaiah, you do realize you were actually in the enhanced risk, right? Clarksville is in the enhanced risk, not the marginal. And then actually being able to look at a camera here. Oh, look at the lightning. Wow, this is freaking awesome. I'm so happy right now.
Yeah, actually, um, hold on one second.
Oh, wow, I just realized I have to get all the surface stuff on here. All of the lightning graphics. That's crazy. And the reports. Well, I guess you're getting to see me set all of this up live. So you only get this here on the channel Thai Metalhead Weatherman. NATO cast is hit or miss, but they do when they get it right, like it's almost spot on perfect. But I mean, really, any sort of weather meteorologist can be hit or miss. Even me, I've had plenty of those days.
If you want to pass it off to me while you're setting up,
Sure.
I can show the satellite stuff that piqued my interest.
So, what's the idea on how to pass it off to you? I'm down to do it. I just got to know how to.
Um,
Wait. Oh yeah, we could share your screen on
yeah.
Discord, couldn't we? Well, Isaiah, sometimes, like I said, sometimes NATO cast can end up overdoing it or underdoing it. This time they overdid it today. So, I mean, sometimes NATO cast is a very active site though. So sometimes, like on the bigger weather days, they get it right, but on the smaller ones, they can be hit or miss. It's no surprise there. It's okay. Okay, so okay. Your screen is up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up. Oops, I don't want to share my screen. I just want to look at your screen. Okay, there we go.
Can the stream see my screen? Hold on, let me check.
I'm about to. I gotta switch the source real quick. It'd only take a second now, whereas before that would take 1,000 years. Give me a second, guys. You're about to actually get a new look at one of my mods' feeds now. This is a contingency screen here. He's gonna cover the overview of things while I'm setting up Radar Omega still.
Hold on, I gotta make. Hold on. Oh, that's cool. All right. So, hold on. Oh, cool. All right, cool. So, I checked the satellite, which I normally don't do, before checking the radar, and I'm glad I did, because one of the first things that I noticed was the amount of smoke that's basically sitting on top of the lower level clouds. Like, I'm in the northeast, so you can kind of see how um, there's like there's an insane amount of just totally un. Whoops! I have to change my sound setting because my hotkey will prevent me from being able to do anything.
You good? I could take over if you need to. I'm almost done
Yeah, no,
already.
no, no. It's just now it's just gonna pick my voice up. I don't have to use the hotkey.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so that's the first thing I noticed. Just all of these fires, out of control, out of control, out of control. A couple of them says being held over closer to Quebec, but man, most of them are terrible. Um, let's go back a couple of hours on the satellite. Here you can see the MCS that's been kind of growing in the southeast. Uh, that huge anvil just exploding in western Tennessee is currently the severe warned thunderstorm down there. It looks like, moreover, to eastern Tennessee and the Dixie Alley area, the convection is getting messier and dying out a little bit, as I was talking about. my, my cat, she's not licking me. She's like rubbing her gums all over the hand I'm trying to use to my mouse on. But this is now my new point of focus here. South Dakota, there really hasn't been anything. Uh, Storms haven't really fired off here at all. So this is a pretty much untapped environment. But what I noticed, look in the middle of South Dakota, there's a storm. It's tiny. We're talking 6:20 p.m. That was an hour ago. See that shadow? That storm is huge already, very tall. And I think as this supercell continues to grow, its severe potential is going to continue to increase. We also have another pretty formidable, or we had another pretty formidable looking cell here in the Nebraska Panhandle. That one hasn't maintained the same level of oomph, but you can also tell that one is very tall by the shadow underneath it. So yeah, I'll switch back over to you.
All right, I think I'm good to go now. All right. So that was our mod here, Contingents, giving you guys an update and a rundown of what's happened so far since I wasn't able to cover it all since I was stuck at work. But we're here now, and we'll get into the meat of things here. Alright, so now we've finally got this Joker set up. And we can have a lot more on this map now, which is awesome. But here's the current situation, just as Contingents was saying. This was our MCS. This had numerous wind and hail reports, especially throughout Tennessee. Also, tree damage has been extensive so far, especially over towards Nashville, where you can see all of these reports. Towards Hopkinsville, Kentucky, there was even a 70-mile-per-hour report, which would be a significant severe thunderstorm warning at one point. But now we're starting to see new action over here towards western Tennessee, heading towards Alabama and Mississippi. There is a severe thunderstorm watch over here for the northern portions of these states. I was interested in this particular area as well. And then as we look around here, we also see that my area over here towards Atlanta is actually under a marginal risk. Then the slight risk actually extends all the way towards Dalton and Calhoun, Georgia as well. So this is an area of interest to keep an eye on tonight. But the new point that we're probably going to be focusing on a bit more is right where we see this this occluded front mixed in with this warm front here, where they've just issued a severe thunderstorm watch now, where we're going to be seeing a chance for a couple of supercells developing here, and threat for really all hazards. I'm mainly thinking hail and wind is going to be the big threat, but there is a 2% chance of tornadoes here too. Also, it's a bimodal slight risk here as well. So the threat for, like I said before, threat is mainly going to be large hail, but can't rule out a few tornadoes here. So we're kind of going to be hopping around here and there and just taking a look at what we could find here, so to speak.
Yeah, also as the Pierre supercell. It looks like it's a heavy hailer. Um, I don't know about the tornado potential. It had a hook, but the hook kind of got folded into the system, so might be a little bit more outflowy now. But still, big hail. I think it was 2 inch hail was the tag on it. And then further to the south, the Cape is a good bit higher as you get more into southern South Dakota and Nebraska. So those currently small cells in western Nebraska, um, if they stay alive and continue to move a little bit to the east, they're going to move into some very favorable instability.
Oh, speaking of which, since you brought up Cape, guess what I can do? All I have to do is Alt Tab over to Streamlabs, and then let me see if my brain works worth anything. Oh, look at that. We can actually look at Cape now. It's crazy. And then I can switch right back like it's nothing. And yes, I literally had to download my siren and my intro theme for the stream. Don't judge me. But this is what Contingents is talking about here, especially towards southwestern Nebraska. As time goes on here, the Cape does kind of ramp up a little bit here, at least
That's
within.
South Dakota, bro.
Oh, or south. Shut up. Dang it. Southwest South Dakota and northwestern Nebraska. I can't believe I made that mistake just now. But
It's all right, bro. I do it. I do it constantly with Nebraska and Kansas. Or I did. I've stopped. I
for
now know
now,
that there is a panhandle of Nebraska, and that helps.
yeah, that's why I have to remind myself sometimes too. If I'm being honest, Kyle's probably screaming in the back of his mind right now as he's making the sandwich. But as far as Cape is concerned, towards the Nebraska South Dakota line here, like you said, it's looking pretty hot here at this point. And even in the morning hours, there's still plenty of instability to go around. So storms, if they choose to persist, could literally last the entire day. Man, I love the capabilities of this computer already, man. And I feel like we're only scratching the surface, if anything. Thank you to everyone who's donated so far here. Also, on this severe thunderstorm warning towards Pierre that you were talking about, the tag right now is okay. There's the 2 inch tag, but I was seeing up to golf ball size, so we're seeing right now looks like up to 2 inch hail. That would be what, like limes, if I remember correctly.
I don't know. I'm very, I'm very bad at equating fruit with hail sizes. So
Well, I mean, I was just trying to think up something. It's got to be another item of some sort that you could compare it to. Wait, I think
maybe
no, it's not ping
Clem,
pong.
Clemens. See here's the thing. When I think of grapefruit, for some reason, the grapefruit that I usually see are bigger than the grapefruit that other people usually get. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's just a regional thing or because maybe I'm thinking of the grapefruit my mom used to get from the co-op or whatever. But like
Hmm.
in my head, grapefruit are like big. They're like, I don't know, maybe 6 inches. But
Jeez.
there's there's a perception that they're smaller. What like when you think of grapefruit, what do you think? Like 3.5, 4 inches?
About 4.5.
Okay, so yeah, there's variability.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there. I can see what you're saying. I wonder. I wonder if orange would be considered as maybe a hail size.
Yeah, I was trying to come up with like clementine, nectarine, because if you think of like a halo, like a Halo Clementine, the little ones.
Yeah,
That's that's like a consistent size, you know.
yeah. I think I can see where you were looking at that little inflow notch earlier. Setting this in a loop, you could probably take a look at. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's still something there, but it's not like it's nothing incredible at the moment. But one thing that is kind of notable is the fact that the amount of CG is increasing. So who knows? Maybe this could try and do a thing, but not too optimistic about it because really looking over this area, the low level jet wasn't all that impressive.
Yeah, I think the I don't think that the cell's gonna die or anything. I don't think it's gonna get sheared apart. Um,
It's
I
just,
think it'll probably continue to produce hail, uh, but I don't think the tornado threat is very significant at all.
yeah, tornado threat here just isn't really that palpable. I mean, then again, there's a couple of these storms over here towards that low pressure area here on this stationary front, so you know
Let
how
me
those
check. Let me check the lapse rates. Actually, I haven't looked at those.
lapse rates are. I mean, they're decent. They're nothing incredible. There's like, it's moderately steep, but it's nothing that's just world world burning. Like, oh my god, this is apocalyptic type deal. Well, guess what, Isaiah? You're a fudge bar, since you want to get them all the time. The saying is, you are what you eat, so you're a fudge bar now. How do you like that? So this storm right here is actually moving in a more southeasterly motion. I wasn't really expecting that for this area here. But it looks like there is a trough here off to the east, and maybe that could be pulling it in? Maybe?
The other thing to note is that there's pretty significant uh, convective inhibition along the eastern side of South Dakota and Nebraska. So there will be a limited space, like longitudinally, for
Yeah.
those storms to be severe. And it looks like the most favorable place in terms of cap will be where that Pierre storm currently is, and um, kind of the northwestern to north central Nebraska. Otherwise, the cap starts to build in.
And it builds in pretty strong from what I saw in those last few soundings. When I did have reception throughout the day, just the place I worked at today, as far as like getting reception was concerned, it was trash. And then on top of that, as usual, it seems like I've been having to clean up behind people's mistakes. Me and our whole crew did. So yeah, it was a tough day to try to like keep up with weather. But it makes me happy to finally be on this computer and doing this stream here. Really does. I just hate that I missed this event when it was at its peak. That's my main thing.
Looks like there is like a good amount. Again, we've talked about, well, we've discussed uh, what the shorthand means on the comp maps. I don't know exactly what shear exactly refers to, but I presume it's bulk shear since it's the SPC. There is a good amount in the Dakotas and Nebraska.
Yeah, I think the key to it all is still going to be timing, and it's just something that doesn't seem like it's panning out here more than anything. I still would have liked to have covered that MCS, by the way, Isaiah. That's just me. I would have loved to have covered a lot of stuff that last weekend, but If I had went live on Sunday, the computer would have came in right after, and I would have been so distracted, wanting to, because the temptation would have eventually just overcame me. All right, man. Still got a long way to go as far as the setup is concerned. Still, well, just need another screen, really. I think, just so I can look at chat a little bit easier, or switch over to things even faster. But even then, this is incredible. Type a Y in the chat, by the way, if you're wanting to see another campsite of one of these storms. Because I got one over here towards Florence. I got one here towards Russellville. You get a pretty good view of what's going on over here towards the south.
Wait a second. I just seen in the chat, Isaiah said contingent sounds so nervous.
Uh-oh. Dang it, Isaiah. Why you out here causing trouble, huh?
Why are you calling me out like that? I just wanted to make sure that because I was, when he switched over to the stream, I was watching Ty, so I didn't want him to like hand me off to himself.
Yeah,
Or
it's
hand himself back off to himself.
yeah, that was a new process for me. That was a new process, but it seems like it'll work out well now that we know how to do it. It'll probably get more seamless over time, especially if we go over to the more extensive, especially if we were to have more extensive outbreaks.
Forgive me if I'm not as active on voice chat. I just got like a fat chimichanga.
Do you, man? Remember, you guys covered for me that one night. So, you're good, man. Trust me. All right, Tom. I'll catch you later, man. Thanks for popping in. Really, this was just more so a test of the new PC, the new equipment. Seems like it's a success right now. And we're up to 9 likes. How surprising. I wasn't expecting a whole lot to really come out of this. Well, I guess this camera sight isn't working. Probably because it's in the middle of the storm right now. Hi, Lexi. Welcome back. I don't blame you for taking a shower. It's probably been really hot over there today as well. I wish I had taken a shower. I haven't yet, actually. I'm still in my work clothes. Buffering just a little bit. I think this is more so the camera sights than it is the computer itself this time.
Yeah, I don't think it's a speed issue anymore.
Yeah, that's for sure. Because this thing just responds so well now. Look at this. Just look at this. It's freaking beautiful. You were in a gust front, Isaiah. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I've been trying to tell you in chat. That's what happens when a big storm is about to come through, or a linear type storm with a lot of damaging wind potential is usually well out ahead of it. You'll feel a rapid drop in temperature. That's from the rain cold air, and that's what's called a gust front. So that's what you were experiencing when the storm came through earlier. We can actually, since this thing is so much faster now, I think I could probably knock this back to like maybe about 50 frames, and I can pretty much show you what happened earlier in your area. It's not like it really had a lot of tornadic potential to begin with here. Oh my god, look at that speed. Wow. Okay, so I actually have to go a little bit further back than 50 frames. I'll probably go 75. But watch closely here, though, Isaiah. Oh, dang. Man, that happened way later, earlier in the day than I thought. I did say it was going to happen around lunchtime. Alright, so pay close attention to this. This is about 8:50 a.m. Here are the storms starting to come into view. This was right around lunchtime. Here's your area. Here comes that main line, and watch for this little small little area. It should pop up. It should pop up out ahead of the line. If you see that, that's called a gust front. So there's a radar site that's right next to you. Hit around about 246. Okay. See, look at that. There's even damage right around your area. But look closely though. See how that tightens up right there? And you can kind of see a little area right here, just barely ahead of it, where you can kind of see the indications of a gust front. You'll see it better on velocity here. This is incredible, though, to have this kind of speed at my fingertips now. That was one thing we were desperately needing earlier. Like, it's unbelievable. But look at how this line starts to surge out like that, and just out ahead of that is usually where that rain-cooled air will end up being. And it did strengthen just as it passed over your area, so that's where some of the damage came in. For sure. You still can. You still can report tree damage right now.
Yeah, if you can send in a report that's like what's the word? It's like you can send in a retrospective report. I don't know what the word for that is.
Retrospective. You were close. You were pretty much on it.
Because you can, it's not like the report gets filed for the time that you submit it. You can choose what time the damage occurred in the damage report.
Yeah, exactly. So go on and report it, man. 100%. What is my favorite drink, non-alcoholic? That is actually a good question. I don't know if I'd call Body Armor my favorite drink. It definitely helps me get through the work days, that's for sure, but it's pricey. I don't really drink Sprite anymore. I don't drink sodas anymore. But Sprite used to be my favorite. I guess it would be Body Armor. Shoot, I don't know. Either that or almond milk.
Right now I'm drinking the Blue Rockstar Zero Carb.
Nice. I never really got into Rockstar like that. I mean, I've had them, but I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean for most energy drinks, I like the I don't know. I don't really like Monster. I like Red Bulls. Red Bulls are delicious, but the ones that I like are all the sugar-free ones. Like I can feel and taste the sugar. Like it just feels gross on my body, you know.
Oh, yeah, I know how that is. That's a good flavor. Grape Gatorade. Shut up! Shut up, contingents.
Somebody clip that. Baconator, clip that.
He's not even here. I haven't seen him in chat once yet. So no clip. But yeah, grape Gatorade. Well, I mean, I always do make I made a set of bloopers last year, so I guess that can be on this year's. Yeah, watermelon, not my cup of tea, that's for sure. I'm not gonna lie though, the watermelon body armor is actually really good. And this is coming from somebody who normally doesn't really care that much for watermelon. I guess I can take this outlook off. But this is a little interesting section of the storm here, just to the southwest of Corinth here. Kind of see a couple little small inflow notches. It doesn't really look impressive on velocity or anything like that, but might have to watch those because those can evolve pretty quick. Oh, you suck. Isaiah's probably going to end up clipping that. I really wish I could see what's going on with this camera here, because that would probably be the one that's closest to that potential kink in the line. But unfortunately, it looks like that camera's out of action for right now. Also, this severe thunderstorm warning is on its way to Tupelo here. Here is a mesoscale discussion here. It's just popped up. It wasn't worth risking your life for a shelf cloud picture, Isaiah. You did the right thing. Okay, so that's about what I was expecting with this mesoscale right here. Basically, the further off to the east we go here, the eastward extent is a lot more limited. Still could be a chance of a few severe storms here, but nothing incredible. Much drier air near the Atlanta metro area and points east. A mixed layer Cape drop off of over 1,000 joules per kilogram. Well, in Dixie Alley, that's a pretty common occurrence, thankfully. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at the marina here. Looks like we're seeing some rain. I don't know where exactly or which direction we're looking at here. I'm going to switch back to reflectivity. Oh, we're in the light part, so the heavy part's actually just going to start rolling in here in a minute. I think we're actually facing off to the I think we're facing off towards the southeast here, so this is probably gonna backblast this camera basically, or just like pop this camera upside the head. Just backhand the camera. So we'll go with that, and then we'll also, let's see if I can do this. Oh, that sucks. That makes me sad. So what are you guys thinking of the new computer so far? Do you think it's performing well? Because I would say so.
Yeah, it's pretty much doing exactly what I had hoped it would be capable of doing.
We could probably have two camera feeds up here at once. Uh, do you guys hear the noise from the motherboard by chance, though? Is it like loud or anything like that?
Can't hear anything.
Can't hear anything? I mean, it sounds like it's pretty quiet. I mean, I can hear it, but it isn't like awful or anything like that. That was my main concern. Well, that's good to hear. That is good to hear. Oh, oh, you can hear it slightly. Yeah, sorry, but that's with the volume all the way up, so that's not awful. Okay, I mean that's cool. If we get any sort of chaser feeds on here in the future, then it shouldn't be much of a problem. Okay, so I'm trying to think. Just what are we wanting to look at here? Trying to make sure I'm not blocking any widgets, so that way everybody can see them. And then let's hope that this doesn't close up after scrolling down a couple of times here.
Why don't you just click through the alerts and see if there's any, um, ooh, like that.
What, 2.5?
Yeah, that's that south. Is that same Pierre storm?
No, that's an entirely different one. That's Colorado.
No, oh, there's a lag. Damn it. The first storm that you scrolled by.
Oh, well, I mean, there's always latency issues, regardless of what, you know, regardless of how good your computer is. There's always like at least about 2 to 3 seconds. But yeah, the first storm, right? Oh yeah, it does have 2.5 inch hail now too. Might want to switch radar sites though. Well, maybe not. Yeah, what we had was better before. So Aberdeen looks like the spot here. Then Kyle picked the same storm as you. How ironic. Starting to get a little bit of lag on that one, so yeah. Yeah, you're not out of it yet. I mean, there's still more storms that are expected for your area, so with that moderate risk of flash flooding, you definitely need to be careful. Or that's what I would urge you to do. But I trust your judgment, Isaiah. I think.
Bad idea.
Jeez. Well, I mean,
Kidding.
he's a new mod,
Kidding.
so we have to hate him a little bit. Just a little. And I would have loved to have gotten at least a couple of tornadoes on stream today, though. Even though it probably would have been pretty bad if it did happen, though. Even then, I'm just happy to have this thing up and running and looking good. Looking at Echo Tops at the moment.
Yeah, like it's weird how things don't occur to me just when I'm using the site. Like in real life, if I see a cloud, my first thought is to check the echo top on radar. But like, if I don't physically look at the cloud, it's usually not my first thought. Lately, I've just been starting with echo tops, and it's way easier to tell where activity is happening.
Yeah, because it's almost in a way like a secondary satellite. Oh, 3 inch hail report in Pierre, by the way. Big time hail there. Photo was actually submitted via Twitter. I have half a mind to try and look, but I almost don't want to get my stream taken down. Alright, so I guess we can go ahead and look at VIL while we're at it. Oh, so it looks like also I'm looking on my little taskbar down here at the bottom. Apparently they're expecting rain tomorrow. It could be a rain out. This would be perfect if there was a whole severe weather outbreak, so I could cover it without any sort of issue.
Yeah, the smoke would probably clear out too, a little bit.
Yeah, because that's been a problem the last couple days. It got a little bit better towards the end of the day, though. Like early in the day, it was still pretty hazy. This storm over here has some ridiculous VIL, though, right now. Especially towards the northern flank of it. But it is starting to decrease just a tiny bit. Although this storm right here is starting to ramp up with VIL. In fact, that's actually a pretty pronounced core right there. I guess we'll test out split screen. Oh. That's an interesting little feature right there. I doubt it's going to mean much of anything, but it looks interesting. If anything, it looks like these storms are starting to merge a little bit here. So this could increase the damaging wind threat for these storms a little bit later down the line. Yeah, I'm just looking on my phone here, and I definitely see the potential for a few morning thunderstorms and then some afternoon storms. Kind of want to rain out, but I kind of don't. So, definitely an odd situation there. All right, Isaiah, if you do go down there to the river, just make sure you're careful, of course, and make sure you report the damage to the National Weather Service this time. Alright, so I guess we'll switch back to reflectivity for now and then just trying to figure out what we're going to do next.
Should live stream Isaiah's journey down to the river.
Isaiah is a little nervous, a little shy when it comes to talking to people on here still, so we got to help him overcome that eventually.
Isaiah, you gotta live stream with the title EF6 damage
Oh my
in
goodness.
Tennessee.
EF6 damage. All the clickbait. Oh, the clickbait that would come from that. And then all the trash, all the literal bashing that would come right after that.
With a poorly photoshopped thumbnail that has like
A 5 mile wide wedge tornado from
it has like
Roblox.
clip art of upside down cars and then like a guy soy facing really hard.
And then you copy and paste like a Roblox tornado that's like 60 miles wide or something. Basically like a Lego tornado.
Honestly, that really does piss me off because I'll be trying to find like amateur footage of a tornado that I know touchdown, and like people will have recreated it in one of those storm chasing games.
Oh, I see what you're saying. There's a couple of 3-inch hail reports now. They're on the increase. Okay, this is probably the same person, but it was a photo submitted via Twitter. Now a photo submitted via Facebook. That's kind of funny. Well, I guess now go ahead and scroll back towards Alabama. 'Cause really, that seems like where everything's going to be happening. And even then, that's starting to wane a little bit, I'm sure. Okay, so let's see. Looks like Phil Campbell and Moulton might be next in line here. So I think I'm gonna try to take a look at the Phil Campbell radar, Phil Campbell picture right here. Um, a little historic fact here. Of all the tornadoes from the 2011 super outbreak, Phil Campbell was one of the towns that was unfortunately hit by an EF5, and it was actually the deadliest tornado of the outbreak. That storm was crazy. I would have loved to have seen it, but I probably would have been like utterly terrified, like purely intimidated, because there's not even a whole lot of pictures of it. But the few that I have seen have been crazy.
Yeah, that is the worst tornado damage I've ever seen. Was from that tornado.
Yeah, same. But just looking at the tornado, just rain wrap, but just it just felt like that tornado was just like there was just something about it, just that was just ominous, something just flat venomous.
There's a lot of that's another storm that there's like I don't know why I just said that. Another storm. That is that one was like well filmed because I mean unfortunately it went through like a lot of not extremely densely populated areas, but like it was just a huge long track tornado. So there were plenty of people that were like filming it on cell phones. It was kind of the age of like everybody for the first time had like the shittiest camera ever in their phone. So a lot of people did film it and it's
Yeah.
terrifying. Like it is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, and I'm like, I wonder how many of these people were okay after the storm. Did it hit them or not? Because I'm thinking to myself, like, I didn't see the tornado moving in some of those films, so it was coming at them. I'm like, what are you guys doing? I can only imagine what another outbreak like that could be like. The closest we got to that since then is 331, but even then, I don't think 331 even holds a candle to that outbreak. No, regardless of how many tornadoes we had that day. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at Florence Harbor now. Rain's picking up. Winds still look like they're pretty calm though. They're at about 10 mile per hour gust. Wow. Yeah, look at this line of storms. Just like I was telling Isaiah, the further east this goes, it wasn't going to be much of anything. So I was already anticipating it long before the meso discussion that it was going to weaken. We'll get our share of rain from it though.
Wait a second. The camera that you just had clicked on with the live feed, uh, was the pressure dropping or increasing?
I actually haven't seen the pressure on there. It's all wind speed.
No, millibars right there.
No, I don't see it. I only see wind speed. I can't. I don't even have an option for. Oh wait, yeah, there it is. It's right in front of me. It's rising. It's rising. So this storm is actually. Wait, here comes the wind. You can actually see it on the marina here. So we're starting to get into the more intense part of this storm now.
So is that pressure increase like uh is that just the gust front? Like is that basically the divergence like hits you and then as it passes over the pressure will drop?
I think you normally would see the pressure drop maybe just ahead of the storm, and then after, as it's passing, maybe it goes up. I'm not entirely sure, actually. That's a good question. I mean, it's definitely not a hurricane, so it's a little different. I usually associate more of the pressure drops with hurricanes, or at least in my head I do, even though it's still relevant in this case. But I always instinctively think of examples with hurricanes, though. Because whenever I would read up on it, that's always what I would see as a point of reference is hurricanes. All right, let's go ahead and check it now, though.
I misspoke when I said divergence. That's not what I meant to say at all.
No, I know it's okay. Yeah, it's still rising. Perhaps I was right there. I'm not entirely. Like I said, I can't really prove that at the moment, but maybe I can look it up. I don't know.
I don't know what would that be called? Because I mean from like you're talking about kind of a subjective experience um
That
like
is.
when you're feeling like the load of the wind, like the pressure is increasing directly right there, like
In that one particular part.
yeah, like
I don't know. Like I think that's one of the that's one thing I'm still trying to learn about is like those specific instances. Like those little it's those like I said the other day when we were talking about weather discussions, it was more so going to be about it was more so like I was like I'm really trying to learn more of those particular nuances. It was going to be like so in this area this particular thing happened versus another area where it's a little bit more subdued. It was going to be calmer, more fair, or the winds weren't as strong at this point, or the rain wasn't as heavy. Whereas down the street, it was almost inch and a half an hour rainfall rates, for example. But then in
yeah,
another spot, you
that
had
comes into
drizzle.
play like really heavily with tornado damage because like as the tornado is approaching, you're getting a ton of force that are basically acting like, you know, straight line winds. Like the force is a pushing force. And then as the tornado tracks overhead, there's like a very rapid pressure drop. So then it acts like a pulling force.
Yep, and that's how you get the illusion of the house exploding type thing. Is that
And
sudden change in pressure?
it also factors into um, like if if you assume that most, you know, most tornadoes are going to travel, you know, in accordance with like a certain synoptic setup for the area of the country that you're in, you have to take into account like which face of the structure is going to take what kind of force.
Yeah, because there used to be a thing where they said when you take shelter, you often want to take shelter towards like the southwest side of the house. But eventually that ended up being disproven, and eventually it was not necessarily discouraged, but they just started going back to saying just get below ground. But they used to be a lot more particular about it at one point. They being news networks in particular, like the local news stations.
Yeah, I remember that they wanted you to be in like the southwest interior corner of the house, and then now it's they just want you to be in the lowest like interior core of the house.
Yeah, because that's one thing that I'd always thought about. Like, didn't you want to stay away from the exterior walls? And if you put yourself towards the southwest corner of the house, that would put you towards the exterior wall, I would think.
Well, it's completely dependent upon like the specific situation. Like it depends on where the tornado is in regard to like the building.
Exactly. So just to say southwest corner of the house is just kind of it's a little bit careless because what if it's moving in a direction where the southwest corner of the house gets cored?
Yeah, what if the southwest part of the house is the closest part to the tornado?
Yeah, yeah, because that's going to be the first thing that gets hit, and then at that point you're just along for the ride.
And it's got to be different too between like a single vortex and a multi-vortex tornado, right? Because if you have a multi-vortex tornado, it's pretty much vortices that are kind of like dancing, sometimes come off the ground and go back down. So it just kind of depends on as far as like kind of like where it lands within the rotation compared to like a single vortex is exactly what you guys are talking about for the direction of which the tornado is coming from.
Yeah. Oh, I just watched something.
What? Did,
I think it was June 1st. I don't know if you guys saw that, but the he was he's from my area, and he does like the deep dives into tornado surveys because um, he's an engineer, but he'll do all the math out to get like a wind speed by assessing based on pictures damage in certain places, and he was talking about that with like the Matador tornado. um Gotta find the name of that video.
I think I saw. I think I remember you posting that one. Actually, I think you posted it in either it was the I think you posted it in the damage reports thread on Discord or something like that. A little later, I guess, because I don't know how much longer we'll really be live for. Truthfully, it just doesn't really seem like anything else is gonna happen. I mean, I see severe thunderstorm warnings, but it's not like this is it's not like these storms are really just like doing much of anything. They're actually looking relatively weak. Oh, hey, we got an extra sub from this. Truthfully, this was just more so a test for the PC. Kyle, what are you thinking, though, by the way, since you're on PC? What are your thoughts, man, on the computer? You excited
Yeah,
for.
so yeah, dude, it's awesome how it works too. No, I was just gonna say I was just checking out the new mesoscale discussion, so I'll post that in the Discord, and so you can view it.
If you want, you can read it off to us, too. Or
All
paraphrase it,
right,
whichever
so
one.
yeah, for sure. So all right, so it is. Let's see here. They're just talking about isolated severe thunderstorm develop possible over the next couple of hours. Large hail, main is hazard with storms into night for pretty much South Dakota, North Dakota region.
Yeah, so it's just continuing to kind of go on the downtrend here as it heads to the east. Because that's where the inhibition really starts to ramp up here. And at that point, the storms just aren't going to really be able to withstand that.
They're actually thinking that as they progress to the east, that isolated or widely scattered storm development is expected because they're saying right now that there is, where's it at? So there is some warmer advection too. So right, so that's kind of like one trigger mechanism that you need to break like a cap to as well. But anyways,
Yeah.
they're talking about right now that there's as far as like that's resulting in stronger instability, but there's some elevated weak convection right now. But when the storm gets closer to the cold front, there's going to be a stronger zone of lower level convergence, and it's going to increase the chances, and also to a lower level convergence. I mean, I'm not saying there's going to be a tornado, but obviously it just
It
increases
increases
the
the chance a little bit.
yeah.
Hmm. Something to think about. Something to think about there.
So it just seems like right now that like there's just some with the upper levels right now, but it once the cold front catches up to the storm quicker, that it's gonna like re-intensify. So in a way, I think they're kind of trying to say that it's like the term back building, something similar
Oh, a
to that,
back builder. Yeah, and really, if you look at the shape of the cold front, it doesn't seem like that's unfeasible either.
Even on the visible satellite though, it looks like the that system's still actually like booming, and there is a lower level, mid level, and upper level water vapor too as well. So there definitely will still be that moisture, and as the front gets closer to the storm, it's going to increase the uplift. So then that's also a reason why I'm thinking that I kind of agree with them to where it's going to increase the intensity and maybe even the echo tops and everything of the current storm right now.
Okay. So I'm gonna check this out then. I'm gonna check out a
What
satellite
times
here.
does it get dark there? Does it get dark there like 9 p.m. or something now? Can't
What,
remember.
towards my area?
Something like the
It's
I like
already
the
dark.
Dakotas. Look at the Dakotas though.
Oh.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, because you guys are 8:43 right now, right?
Yeah, we're 8:43 at the moment.
Okay, so there's 7:43.
So they got at
So I
least
wonder
another hour
what
or
time.
two of daylight.
Yeah, absolutely. In worst case scenario, they even still got that warmer advection that will make up for once the daylight goes down, and then with the front coming in too as well. So then that's gonna increase the instability ahead of the front.
So a nighttime nadir would be more likely than anything else.
Nighter.
A niter. A niter.
Lighter.
Niter. This is probably what the stream will end up turning into in just a little bit here. All of us just saying niter.
Lighter.
Oh no. Yep. Ah, boy. What have you done, contingents? We just don't need the kids saying that. Isaiah and Baconator. Just don't type it in chat so they can see it. I swear if you do it.
I won't do it. I'm honestly distracted. I'm scanning through that Matador video to try and find, cause like I don't have the language for it. I really don't know how to talk about like force and loads and shit. So trying to figure out. I'm just going through like I'm listening to you, but I'm looking at the closed captions on the video to try and figure out what I'm trying to say.
Word. Lexi, I saw that. Just as I've told Baconator, I see everything. So it looks like Lexi did it and then she retracted the message. You're not slick. I saw that. Disappointed. Don't encourage the kids to act up. They already do that enough. So, another interesting thing that I've noticed here from looking at the surface analysis is the fact that we have pretty much almost like a little zipper here. And I guess I can see a little bit more as to why you were saying what you were saying off of that meso discussion, Kyle. Because this doesn't this sometimes like act as like a little zipper, a little corridor for storms to fire right between the warm air and
Yeah.
Well,
So they call that, yeah, the warm sector.
that
yep.
chunk that as it occludes, uh, the hottest spot for storms to fire off are like in this case it would probably be like a little bit to the southeast of where that low actually is. This is definitely not a up-to-date representation of how far that system has occluded. I'm pretty sure that it has quote unquote zipped up pretty substantially to the south from where it is on the map.
Oh yeah, that goes without saying, but still, even just from looking at it, I can kind of read. I can kind of get a little bit of a read on what they were talking about with the mezzo. By the way, thanks for the tip, Isaiah. I appreciate it, man. Well, we're getting one step closer to getting the second monitor. Real question is going to be where the heck am I going to fit this thing on my desk? Oh my gosh. That's going to be the next question here. Look at this messy little conglomerate of storms here that's developed now between Fort Thompson and I can't even see what that says now. Kennebec.
Yo, check out the velocity with this. There's actually kind of like a couplet of some rotation going on right now on both the high res, the base, and the storm relative.
Okay, I should be able to switch between all three of those fast. That's one thing I'm really liking right now. Only problem is radar right now. It's really not a great spot. Let me see if I can find one. 'Cause Aberdeen's getting a little far away now. KFSD is a little far now too. Yep,
Yeah, that's the only downside. I think Aberdeen's still the best right now, but like I said, it's on the edge,
it's
unfortunately.
starting to get on the edge there too. Uh,
Okay, so I got to the part in the video, and I think I can explain what I was trying to say.
okay.
So on the leading edge, like going in the same, like the uh, the storm motion, not like the actual wind speeds of the tornado, but like if you follow the vector of the storm motion, where that intersects like with the building, the wind speeds that are or the winds of the actual tornadic circulation, where those add to like the vector of the storm motion most strongly, it's basically like your you have like a oh man, maybe I don't know what I'm trying to say. You well, I mean with most structures, like anytime you add a little bit of like wind speed, it's not just like a linear addition to the amount of force that's being put on the structure. Like it's almost like logarithmic in that, you know, there's only so much force that a thing can take. So like when you have, in addition to the tornadic winds, you have the storm motion acting as like another vector. Um, the intersection of that movement with the building will have more, like considerably more stress put on that spot. So if you have a typical cyclonic tornado, meaning like counterclockwise rotation, and in the case of Matador, it was moving kind of south southeast. The most intense damage is going to be on, like, let's say it's moving along the western edge of a building, like it's going to be, or let's say it's going straight through the building and it's moving. No, I can't really give a good, I can't really give an example, but like basically specifically um, where Trent talks about it with like streamwise vorticity, but like there's basically an I give up, dude. I give up.
Oh, that's all right, man. I get it. I kind of get what you're trying to say, but I couldn't explain it either. That's where the whole engineering thing kind of comes into play here. So, yeah.
Are you saying because of like the vorticity? So if it hits on like the western side with vorticity, rotate counterclockwise and come out on the east side would be worse damage, or am I not interpreting that
No,
right?
you're interpreting it correctly. It's just I was trying to think of it like I was trying to think of a but it's like that's almost intuitive. Like it gets
Yeah.
even more it gets like even more specific than that because like um I mean hypothetically you could have like a not like an anticyclonic tornado. Like if you had an anticyclonic
Yeah.
tornado moving along the same vector, it would basically be counteracting its own strength in terms of like damage. So if it was moving, like if you think about it, like it's hitting, let's say it moves directly southeast onto the northwest corner of the building. The western side of the building is going to get damaged more thoroughly than the northern side because of that counterclockwise rotation on a normal cyclonic tornado.
Okay.
Whereas in an anticyclonic tornado, nowhere on the building would have like a considerable additional force being pushed on it because the storm motion, like the vector of the storm motion, is
Yeah.
counteracting the rotation.
Okay.
I think I kind of get where you're going with it. Like, I'm picturing it in my head, but like I said, I don't think I could explain it any better myself.
Or I guess the north side of the building. I'm still thinking about the Matador tornado, which was like pretty much due south. So if it was the Matador tornado, it would kind of cancel out. In the specific instance that I gave, a cyclonic tornado would damage the north side of a building more intensely, or a anticyclonic. God damn it! A clockwise rotation would damage the north side of the building more than the west side.
Okay.
This would be way easier to explain with a diagram, so we'll forget it. We'll forget it for now.
It's fine. Well, so what should we do for now, though? Because I'm trying to think just what else we could look at in the meantime, just in case those storms do develop. Uh, okay, let's go with this radar again over towards Amory. So it looks like this is clearing Russellville. It's getting closer to Phil Campbell now. I was gonna backhand this camera. Yes, you are very hyper, Isaiah. You are indeed hyper. But yeah, the crappy thing about this is these cameras are all facing to the south.
Hey, whenever you get a chance, go back to that one in South Dakota and play the velocity in a loop.
The one we were just looking at. Oop, I didn't know this was on.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's go to Aberdeen again. Okay, velocity. Is there any particular velocity that we're looking for? Is it on high res, base, or storm relative?
So it's on high res and base, and that's the main one. Storm relative, more like the mesocyclone. So yeah, just high and base perfectly.
Just high res and base. Okay. Are we going 7 or okay? I mean, I have noticed. I did kind of notice that.
I'm kind of surprised it's not warned. Like, it definitely looks at least radar indicated, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, actually, I kind of see it. Let me zoom in
Because
a
the
little
radar's
further.
Aberdeen's in the northeast, right? So the red's going away and the green's going towards. And if you look at the loop, you can see like the cyclonic rotation.
Yeah, you can see the cyclonic rotation. The inflow's definitely there as well.
Hmm.
Thanks for the sub, Woodland Creature. Welcome, welcome.
Looks like even with that last scan too, the
Yeah,
waves with the yellow got even stronger.
yeah. So it's interesting. This is interesting. Could this be that one lone storm that ends up doing a thing? I mean, on reflectivity, it looks junky, but
Oh yeah, this looks like a rain wrap tornado. Cause compared to like other ones I've seen that they said radar indicated and warned, this looks like twice better than some of the ones that I've seen.
yeah. And the
Look at all
best
that
part,
lightning too. There's a lot of energy in that cell.
Yeah.
yeah, this was like
So
one
I
of
think
the
it's
max points on
I
the
think that
Cape.
cold front's starting to catch up, kind of like how that mesoscale discussion was talking about. I think we're starting to actually see the effects
Yeah. All
of
right,
like
so
after it's getting through done with that back building phase or whatever.
it kind of looks a little more odd on base. It's kind of just flashing, so I can't really see what's going on. But it kind
Yeah,
of looks the same though.
Yeah,
base
yeah,
is always
it's
like that.
flashing like crazy.
I think it takes 2 scans for like the normal, like normally the next rad 3 scans, like they're a little bit slower than the base velocity. The way that the base velocity scans happen, I don't know how they do it, but it strobes like that. Like it'll have one scan that's in focus and the next scan is not.
Okay, that's something to keep in mind then.
Yeah, because especially too here you have like the base velocity, so that's like getting more of the, like your surface level winds, right? And then your higher res velocity, if I remember right, it's like a composite. So it shows at like two different levels, not just at lower, but even at like the mid levels and possibly upper levels, that there's definitely rotation going on.
So I think probably the best product would probably be still to go with high res in this case, wouldn't it?
For clarity, yeah, since the base is so glitchy. That's the only
Well, how
downside of it.
close? Where's the radar site? How close is it?
It's far. This is
So it's
Aberdeen
further
right
out
here.
too.
Yeah, we're like on the edge of the radar ring too, so we're
Is it
probably
possible that could be stronger or could be weaker?
yeah, and
Yeah, if
maybe
that
that's why they're not putting out a
But
warning.
usually, if it's farther away, you don't get as much definition. So my if it is like super far out, my opinion would be that it's actually stronger than what we're seeing right now, because you get less definition when the further you're away from the radar station.
That's true.
So those winds would actually be stronger.
That's a very good point. What were you saying though, contingents?
Oh, um, I forget.
Dang it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I think I was just gonna say, like, if it's far away from the radar, then base velocity would be probably more accurate because you're getting like a less angled slice of the atmosphere
Okay.
or troposphere.
Troposphere.
Trip, trap to trip, troposphere. Pew pew pew.
I don't know. There's not even a tour possible tag on the severe thunderstorm warning, which we find interesting here. So that would at least would have called for that if not a tornado warning. At least one of the two. So, I mean, it's very evident that at least something's going on there.
Yeah, see, look at the time when you have that's 7 frames,
Yeah,
and it's like it starts at 8:49, so you're getting like multiple. You're getting basically a scan every,
couple of minutes just about.
yeah,
Because
every like
it's.
1 to 2 minutes.
No, they're not trying to imitate LANWS. I know that's going to be mega memed. But no, I don't think Aberdeen is doing that. And then also, we're kind of getting to a point here where we might be stuck in between different jurisdictions. Because this isn't far away from Sioux Falls. This isn't far away from North Platte. So, it's in a weird spot, that's for sure. And then, really, I don't know which one this would fall under if it gets out of this radar ring. What were you saying, Kyle?
Oh, I was just saying, so what was it? As of 7 minutes ago on the sorry, the satellite visible, like this the storm look like system looks like it's still growing too.
So this could try.
You're
This
looking
could
at the
make a.
geo color.
So this could make an attempt real quick then, basically. It has lost the significant hail tags like it had earlier, where it was above 2 inch hail. So I do find that interesting. Guess we can also check out the lapse rates out ahead of this.
Oh yeah, that was why I opened the comp map like 2 hours ago, or however long we've been streaming for.
It's been about an hour and a half.
Yeah, so the lapse rates fall off when you get to the like for the most part, the lapse rates fall below 7 when you get out of that favorable corridor that I was talking about.
So it becomes a little less favorable after a while. So it's on borrowed time. It's gonna run out at some point. So it's gonna probably still need to do something soon. Because even then, the further east it goes, it's still gonna run out eventually. The OOZ or the OZ HRRR is coming out now. We got up to the first 5 hours. From what I can see, no, lapse rates kind of increase a little bit. Just slightly. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say right now, but it's actually increased a little bit. Even then, it looks like low level shear drops off a little bit. I don't know if it's just HRRR doing weird things, or maybe it's just this sounding that I'm looking at being contaminated, but I did see a little bit of a ramp up here.
Yeah, there's still like a pretty strong corridor of upper level winds.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I got 125 gate to gate on high res velocity.
Oh, wow.
Like, I'm still so surprised this is not warned. I don't know what the heck's going on. This is throwing me for a loop.
Yeah, they might be sleeping on this one. Not gonna lie. Hey, you zoomed in pretty tight then.
Is it there like any big population centers in the path?
Not really. I mean, Chamberlain looks like it's the closest, but no larger towns really. Beyond that, there's all small towns like Okama, Iona, and then Dixon, Dallas. All of these are small towns. The closest
Yeah.
population center that could potentially be in the path is nowhere close. Like that's over state lines at this point. I guess Valentine would be, but that's well off to the west, and it's
Yeah,
not going to turn that far to the left.
I've noticed that the NWS gets pretty conservative about issuing like warnings on storms unless there are people to warn.
That's true. I've been noticing that too, actually. I guess they're trying to cut cost as well. If that's the case, if so, that they just need to do them. But nonetheless,
Well, I think it makes sense a little bit from like people have, you know, a certain threshold of like if you get warned over and over again.
eventually you're like, okay, this just keeps on happening and nothing happens. So, yeah, you don't want to add to the complacency bias that already exists between just people as it is. I get it.
So like I don't know who would be in the warning polygon, but if it's includes, you know, if it includes people that have already been overstimulated with warnings that haven't panned out so much, then they might just say, this is annoying. I'm not going to pay attention to these anymore.
Yeah, that is a good point. 60,000 Echo Top. Check that out in just a second here. If I can get this thing to work. What the heck's going on here? There we go. There we go. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's pretty much nobody there, apparently. Or they don't consider anyone there, so.
0. Yeah, so that's probably why they're not
Yeah, it's probably why they're
jumping on
thinking,
it.
okay, let's not issue anything. No one's going to care. So, fair enough, fair enough. So, no, they are not. So, to answer you, Isaiah, no, they are not trying to be NWS Los Angeles. A lot of people aren't going to be getting over that anytime soon in the weather community. Like, they just dropped the ball so bad that day. Alright, let's go ahead and look at the Echo Tops. Yeah, I can easily see that that's about 55,000 plus. I don't know if it's going to be 60 anymore because I might have missed that point. We don't even have the magnifying. Oh no, it still might be at 60. It still might make 60. 58 or 56, 55, 54, 55, 56, 57.
Try checking from another radar site.
We're like on the edge of this one, but it's gonna be a tough. It's gonna be kind of tough here. I'm gonna try North Platte.
Yeah, I was just looking at the Sioux Falls one, and it even shows rotation on that one too as well, even though it's obviously on the outskirts.
Yeah. I guess it's probably like the theory that Contention's had with there not being much of a population here. I guess they're thinking we warn them, even if we put out a warning. I don't know if anyone necessarily would care. I don't know. It's kind of weird how all of that works as
But
far
it's
as like the political
mandatory,
side.
though. Like, that's the only thing though. Like, you have to, because if, for instance, if there is even if you have a smaller population town, like 2,000 people, people die and such, then you could lose your job. Like lawsuits. So they'd still have to put one out. It would just be up to the people that take shelter.
Well, yeah, but I mean, in the actual cone for this one, there's 0 people. So they might just be waiting on it a little bit until they have either some kind of confirmation, whether it be like a spotter somewhere near or uh, just like a second opinion, until there's actually people in the in the warning polygon.
I still would at least have put like a tour possible on it, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Because like Chamberlain, I think's population's like 2 or 3 thousand, and it's like right by it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean it's not like and the thing is with Radar Omega, as good as it is, I don't think as many small towns as there is in the path of these warnings. I don't think the population is necessarily 0. Might be less than like 50, but it's not 0.
Yeah, it's just probably like a rural part.
But yeah, I think that population's a lot higher than what it is, or than what's being indicated on Radar Omega at least.
There's probably people driving too.
Yeah, so either way, I mean, I think they probably should issue a warning if it's needed. And it kind of seems like it is. I mean, the gate to gate is pretty convincing. But I'm curious as to what's being seen on this storm here too. So, who knows?
There might. Let me see if anybody is out there.
I know there's probably at least maybe a couple of chasers out there that are on YouTube right now, but obviously we can't show them directly because reasons. So, we're going to probably leave that alone, unfortunately, tonight.
Well, we we may not show it, but if there's somebody streaming right now that has eyes on the storm and it's not doing anything, then at least I can relay that information, and we don't have to be mad at the NWS, you know.
True, that is a very good point. I was really more or less just telling the handful of people watching right now.
Oh wow, there's definitely rotation, but it's not producing.
Hmm. Whose stream did you find? Freddy? Or
Yes, sir.
I thought that's who I saw out there earlier.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like there's rotation, but it's very elevated. I seen a storm like that in Alston once, and then like the second after that, it just dumped hail on us. It was the most abrupt change in weather I've ever experienced.
That sounds about right because if the rotation isn't rooted to the surface, then it's not obvious. It's obviously not going to produce. So that makes sense. One of those wild card like storms. Well, so I guess we'll see. We'll have to take a look at what's ahead now, because if it's like that now, do we have a shot at this maybe growing into something a little further down the line here?
I mean, honestly, it could probably drop it. Like, this needs to at least have a tour possible tag on it because,
Yeah.
like, I'm not saying that this isn't going to produce. I'm just saying that, like, there isn't currently a tornado, but it,
It's trying.
yeah, like, it's a very, uh, the motion within the storm is, like, very visible.
I'm actually looking at his stream off my TV here, and I see it, and it's very clearly rotating. But it's like you said, it's elevated, like it's super elevated rotation, and that's probably the only reason it's not doing anything. It's not producing right now, because literally the rotation seems almost above where a mesocyclone. I wouldn't say above where the mesocyclone would be, but it just looks weird, but it looks impressive all at the same time. Like the base of the supercell itself is or the base of this little complex of storms is just really high in general, and I think that's the main thing that stops it.
Yeah, let me check the dew points in that area. That might have something to do with it.
I remember earlier the dew points were still going to be in the 60s, so I don't think that necessarily is the problem.
Yeah, they look pretty good. Surface um, observations currently in the middle of South Dakota look fantastic.
Yeah, almost towards 70, and then towards northern Nebraska, towards North Platte. So there's little small. There was like little small pockets, or actually a pretty notable pocket of 70-degree plus. So
But then it looks, I mean, the cell has moved off to the east a little bit, and dew points drop off. Like by the time you get to the um, border of South Dakota and Iowa, it's like in the 50s. So,
yeah, and it's in that really weird. Yeah, it's in that like that little spot right there where it's kind of beginning to drop off here. So yeah, like I said, the window seems to be pretty small for this storm here.
I don't know though. It still looks like it's trying to do something.
It's gonna try. It's just the setup itself. It's just like the structure itself is just weird. Because like that point of rotation, it's like it almost seems like it's on the flank of it. But the cloud itself that's indicating the rotation, it's almost like it's
Yeah, it's not on the base of the storm. It's like in front of it.
yeah, that's I think that's just the only thing that's kind of like throwing me with it. It even has a rainbow on it. But
Looks like a straight up piece of cauliflower.
sadly I don't disagree with you. Like a piece of cauliflower or really nah, yeah, cauliflower's probably about right.
Or like ice cream, like when it's a little bit too cold, if you scoop it and it's got the little ice crystals on it.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that. You had to mention ice cream too. I guess we'll go ahead and put this back in loop here. This thing's booking it too. Oh, so I didn't see
Yeah,
Isaiah's comment. What were you saying?
it's just the part of the storm that's rotating is it's like separate from like there is part of the storm that is closer to the ground, but the rotation is happening in like an elevated section of the storm. I feel like maybe in this case it would be if they if there was like a more solid merger, there could be some constructive interference, but it might be too late.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, like if you actually watch this storm, like, yeah, it's continuing to grow. Because, like, you could just look at the cloud structure, you can see just this thing continuing to explode. But even then, as you look at the base, you can just tell that it's up high. It just doesn't want to get down towards the surface at all. Like, it just doesn't have anything to go off of there, so to speak. Like, those low level jet winds are just, I just think it's not sufficient enough. If anything, seems like downdraft could be starting to win out now, just a little bit. And this is just more so a hunch than anything else. I don't really have much to back off of it. Just the clouds are kind of making me think that downdraft might be winning, or more outflow could eventually start to win with this storm. I could be completely wrong though.
I mean, honestly, it looked to me like it started going outflow dominant like a while ago. The hook that it had folded the other way, so
Oh, so it's already on its way out then in that case. Maybe it could
well,
recycle.
kind of. I mean, like I'm just talking about the when it was like a still just an individual cell, but
Oh
it's
yeah, I saw what you were talking about there. It's tornado possible tag in the North Dakota storm though. That's interesting.
ooh,
Let's go ahead and check that out. Or maybe we missed that one. Front's a little further along now. What?
that's very unimpressive. I was expecting to see like, oh wow, man, we totally missed this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
for
go.
the other one. That's what I'm saying. Before, I was surprised the other one wasn't warned.
Yeah, they don't give that one a tour possible tag, but they'll give this one the tour possible tag. But when you look at it, it's just, well, hang on. When you look at on like maybe the third or fourth frame here, it looked all right, but just as quickly as it
Maybe a
looked,
tour was possible.
yeah, not anymore. Yeah, it had a point where it looked like it could have, but not anymore. To answer your question, Isaiah, me personally, I'm kind of leaning more so towards no as this Chamberlain storm with this Chamberlain storm producing right now. It's too elevated and it's strong, but it's not. I guess not healthy enough right now.
It honestly, it seems like there's separate. It's like separate storms are just kind of in each other's business, and like if it doesn't consolidate, it's not going to be able to organize until like a proper, you know, low base rotating updraft kind of a storm. Like there might be rotation in it, but they're going to be competing with whatever rotation occurs is going to be competing with the other uh, cells in the vicinity.
Yeah, I do see something that looks a little bit interesting on that stream. Off to the right a little bit.
I think that's Scud.
Yeah, I want to say that, but it just looks odd. Like if you tilt your head and look at it a little bit, it's like, wait, what the heck?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a funnel cloud though. I do think it's good actually now. Yeah, it is. It is. Cause like when I looked at it at first, I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, it's very blocky.
Yeah, very blocky, very sloppy. Yeah, not. I don't know, man. I'm trying to give it a chance. But there's still daylight out there though, so I mean,
I know, man. It's like wicked nice on the other side.
yeah, it's literally just this one angry storm, and then after that, it's fine. It's just like, all right, you've had your fill for the day. You're done. Good night.
It's the plains, man.
You gotta love it. Ain't nothing like that plains magic. By the way, there's tropical storm warnings in Hawaii. Ho! This has an 80 mph tag? Oh wow, I guess we can sound the siren for that.
Wing.
Oh man.
Do you have your siren set up?
Yeah, I literally just set it up before I started the stream. Struck the
Dur. I have the video muted so I can actually talk to you on voice chat.
I have the what? Wait, what?
I have to mute the YouTube stream so that I can like talk to you on voice chat. Otherwise, I'll hear myself talking
Oh
like
yeah.
15 seconds down the line.
Oh god, yeah, I hate that. But this is over towards like Lake Francis, so this is like more so towards the western part of that line. Yeah, this was where I was talking about earlier. Fort Thompson, Oklahoma, Pre-Show, Kennebec, Reliance. Dang, there's a lot of small towns in here. Yeah, there's no way the population's zero over there. That was bogus. But yeah, it does look like it's actually starting to bow out a bit now too. Look at that, right here. This is probably where the 80 mph winds are, right up in there. Yeah, it's probably somewhere up in that little pocket right there. Of course,
Is
we're
there
not going to
really
see.
not a tour possible tag on that storm?
Nope, not at all. It's aggravating. It's kind of aggravating in a way. But
Yeah, look at the
Fred,
correlation coefficient.
wait, what?
Check out the correlation coefficient on radar.
I mean, there's a street. We can see it. There's no. It's not on. There's not like a tornado on the ground, but I definitely think it's
Yeah,
possible.
like it could also be like big. It could be from like large hail too as well. I just
Oh
wanted
yeah,
to check.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. You would think it normally would pop up more so as maybe like red or yellow. But it's a really odd spot though right there. I mean, there's still a decent hail core there, but it was nothing like what it once was when it was producing 3-inch hail.
Gotta look at this on satellite. I feel like there's something I'm missing.
Go for it. Let me know what you find. really, I think if there was going to be anything that develops, it's going to be more so towards that western side. If it's going to do anything at all.
Yeah, it's still it does look like one huge, very strong anvil.
Mm. But the surface, though, the base, it still looks super elevated. Ah, I wish it would just
Yeah,
make its mind up. Are you gonna do something or are you not? You got the thunder and the lightning. You got the rainbow. This would be a perfect opportunity to put, like, as you call it, sky noodle down and then get the picture of the year and then just have it lift before it even hits anything.
it's just a really, really messy looking. Like it's crazy because it looks like on radar. It looks like it. I don't know.
On
Uh,
radar, it looks like junk on reflectivity, but it also has some potential. But every time it starts to back build off to the west, it's almost like that's what's dooming it. Cause look, if you actually look at the loop here, you can kind of see it. Inflow notch will start to develop, and then as it starts to extend more so towards the west, it goes outflow dominant. Like you can see that hook just goes away. And then it tries to redevelop as a new storm begins to form right next to that little area of inflow.
yeah, I guess, but I mean, if it just drifted off to the right, it would be drifting out of that instability. So, like, it's not like it's committing suicide. It's just, it's I don't know. I don't know what the word. I don't know what the metaphor would be.
I don't know. I don't know either.
It's like it's like you know what? I'm just gonna watch TV.
Yeah, I'm just gonna watch TV, and any one of you that's watching me like I'm TV, screw you.
Because it's like, it's just kind of vibing.
Some
It's
there's some
it's not
damage.
it's not going crazy.
Uh
It's
oh.
just kind of existing.
Semi got tipped over in a coma here. Two reports of him, of a semi. Oh wow.
Oh man.
Hope they're okay. Oh,
Storm
looking.
actually might just be trying to plant like
Yeah, that's the lowest I think I've seen that base come down yet. So if it's gonna do it, it needs to do it now. Really, this is the best I've seen it look, and even then, it still needs help.
well, this is the closest that I've seen the part of the storm that's rotating get to the ground.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's the lowest I've seen like the base, but even then, it still looks like it needs a little help. And the thing is, it was rotating a lot better when it was a little bit more elevated. It slowed down a little bit. It seems like.
Nah, dude, look, I mean, if you're watching the same stream I am, it looks like it's really wrapping up. Like,
Oh wait, now
Trump.
I'm seeing it. Now I'm seeing it. I don't know what's going on necessarily with me. I would normally would have picked up on that. I guess the heat of the day kind of got to me. Come on, body, work with me here. So we're probably gonna have to go with Sioux Falls now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
They better warn this storm.
Yeah, they should warn this storm. If they want to keep their job, they probably should warn this storm.
At first, I was skeptical, but
Yeah, my confidence is starting to go up a little bit more now. Little by little. Hmm. So this is really the only game in town here too, so we can kind of hone in on this pretty much at this point. As things are starting to kind of fall off in the southeast now. Really all the attention is just about here really. And maybe a couple severe storm warnings in Canada. Hang on a minute. Y'all see that? I don't know if that's Scud or not. I want to say that might be. But that looks sus. It's looking more and more sus. Every time it does that little thing. Where it has those little ridges.
yeah, it reminds me. It's almost like the striations, but on like a. It looks like, um, it almost looks like if you took a piece of paper and like curled it up.
Yeah. 100 mile per hour tag just came in now. 100 mile per hour report. It's 2 miles west of Alcoma.
Oh yeah, the circulation is like it's getting closer to the ground. Like the little scud noodle things are looking more like it's trying to condense rather than like
Yeah, it's
rain or something like that.
yeah, it's trying to do a thing. Like it's legitimately trying to do a thing. But yeah, this is a destructive storm right here. And this went straight through Chamberlain. That's really bad, actually. Cause Kyle, didn't you say that was like up to about 2 or 3 thousand people in there?
Yeah, something like right around there.
Yeah, that's pretty rough right there. Shoot, it didn't even need a tornado, and then it's still trying.
Still like the weird shape overall though. Like it looks like the entire storm is in a kind of a cone shape. Like it's just a weird looking storm.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's bowing out, but at the same time, it's trying to form little inflow notches and also trying to form hooks. It's a back builder. It's just, this storm is all over the place.
Yeah, it has. It kind of looks like it has like the little mammatus bloops on it, but they're like huge. There's like mammatus, like it's like a whole udder.
Dang. Oof. Alright, so let's see what we get out of here next. So we got 100 mile per hour gusts. We've gotten 3-inch hail. Will it complete the trifecta? That's the next question here. If it's going to do it, it's probably going to need to do it soon, though, as we've said before. Like I said, probably, I would say at most another hour before it really just starts to fall off, I think. Well, then again, I don't know. This will be a tricky one to predict what it's going to do next or try to forecast it.
This reminds me of that storm in New Mexico that was like rain wrapped and really ugly.
Yeah,
Like
it
the shape
was.
of the cloud. I mean, it still ended up producing.
And it actually produced a pretty big one from what it looked like. It wasn't like super damaging, but it was a pretty strong. It was a pretty big tornado, like size wise, and maybe even strong. But I didn't hear anything about damage from that one though. At least not at
But
the
yeah,
time.
it was in the middle of nowhere, dude. It was eastern New Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, I thought so. So, I mean, that's good news at the end of the day. So, but nonetheless, though. Oh boy, just having a stretch here. Stiff. But nonetheless, though, this could be a similar deal to that. I mean, for the most part, it still looks like it's pretty remote out there.
Yeah, I think this might have just been a little tease. I think we fell prey to its uh, it sang the siren song, and we caved. We thought, oh, it's beautiful. It's gonna make a beautiful little sky noodle.
Yeah,
But alas,
yeah, it's starting to look bad now again.
it's just elevated. It doesn't look like a supercell. It looks like something else. It's some other type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right at the end of the day. I mean, we weren't really expecting much of anything. If it would have happened, it would have been a plus. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's still a cool ass storm, dude. I would love to see this in real life. Oh my god.
Yeah, I would love to be out there in the plains in person. Because, I mean, just looking at it on Freddy's feed, it's like, it's really cool looking. Like, I would probably just use up all of my camera space on my phone. Or just any available space. If I had something like the Dominator, I'd actually drive right through it. Just to be like, yep, I was in the middle of that. And I loved every second of it. But I guess they're probably calling it then, I suppose. What are your thoughts, Kyle? Uh-oh. Did we lose him? Nah, he's still here. Probably stepped away.
He cleared his mind.
Kyle has to answer for himself, Isaiah. We know what you think. We think, I think you think, how could I get in trouble even though I just became a mod? How many different ways can I try to get away with crap that I wasn't able to get away with before? You don't. That's how.
There must be a boundary, like in front of that storm, because a string of like the tiny little clouds just popped up completely out of nowhere.
Oh, I've noticed that too. Oh, wow. Yeah. Don't gamble on that, okay, Isaiah? You can still get the work now. But, anyway, I guess we'll try and see if we can get a hold of Kyle one more time. Or do I need to do the harsh vocal thing in order to summon him? Kyle! Kyle. I don't really feel like doing the harsh vocals.
Hey, I'm back. What's up?
That actually worked. I can't believe it.
What? What happened?
So, we're looking at this storm, and
Yeah.
yeah, it for a moment it had us looking at it like, is it trying to do it? And then like right after that, it just said no. And then on top of that, it must be on like a boundary or something. So then like we were like call it out. He was like, I wonder what Kyle is thinking of this right now. We called your name normally, no, nothing happened, and then right after contingents and I did like vocals, like harsh vocals, you show up,
Oh
and I'm just
yeah,
like,
man.
oh my god, that really worked just
Like,
now. Like you couldn't have timed it
yeah,
any better.
yeah. This storm, it looks like the mesocyclone might be moving to further to the west. What would be since the fronts only update every 3 hours, to be like the one just to the west of the warm front.
Well, yeah, Kyle is a metalhead, Isaiah, so that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know, man. It just seems like this thing doesn't want to do anything. Not yet. It wants to produce wind, but if it forms a tornado, it's probably going to be when we sleep. Watch.
Yeah, like, God, dude, it's screwing with us again. Cause now it looks like there's lowering, but like now it looks like there's a more uniform lowering next to the hail core, but like now it's not rotating anymore. You know?
Man, this thing is just teasing us. It's so mean. It's so mean. I wanna see if it does do anything, but how long will it take before? Because I think this thing is gonna end up. Kyle's just well, not Kyle, but Isaiah speaking the truth here, man. Because look what he said in chat. He said, "Yeah, every time you say it, we say it doesn't produce later at night. There's like an observed tag tornado warning on it later, and it's in our not DMs, but it's like somewhere in our Discord server." But yeah, man.
Well, every time I say
You're-
like, I believe in you, it doesn't. So you're a failure. You can't. You never amount to anything. Uh, Chamberlain Storm. You're a loser. And you're
Oh,
weak.
this is
Hey,
the.
look at the velocity just south of I think it's Kennebec, or however you pronounce it.
Yeah, I think it's Kennebec.
Like that's what I think there's a new mesocyclone that's forming there, and I think the old one is just going back in the storm because it looks like on the front end where it used to be that it's doing. Mine's I'm on a different one. I viewing from Aberdeen, I believe, so maybe I'm seeing it a little differently, but it's still on the edge of the radar.
Yeah, I'm on Sioux Falls now,
Gotcha.
so it's gonna be a little. Wait, where is?
Yeah,
Oh, Kennebec. Oh yeah, it's off to the west. Yeah, I do see a little
yeah,
something there, just south of I-90.
yeah. From the
Okay.
Aberdeen one, it looks like there's kind of a little bit of something starting to form, at least a mesocyclone in some rotation.
Hi, my name is Ty, and I keep on putting duplicates of the radar on the exact same storm, exact radar mode. Anyway, I see what you're talking about here, where the VIL is really starting to pick up, along with the hail potential, along with the velocity, trying to do a weird thing. What? What? What are you laughing at?
I just love the like just the juxtaposition with like the terminology that Kyle always uses, and then you and I are like, "Wow, man, this storm is like trying to do the
Do the
weird,
thing.
weird stuff."
It's trying to do. It's trying to do the thing. Yeah, in comparison, it's just there is no comparison.
I need better words, man, because it's not like I don't know. It's like I have the idea, but I can't say it. I could draw it though. I feel like for most of this weather stuff, it'd be easier for me to say it with imagery.
For me, it's just I had to work today. That's really the issue. Uh oh. Isaiah saying 6.6 inches overnight over there. Pause.
Wait, what'd he say?
He's expecting a rainfall prediction of about 6.6 inches. A, that's metal. B, pause. But he's a little nervous now, though. Here's an interesting thing I've begun to notice, though, too, with this storm. Also, the damage reports are starting to trend more so towards the west too. Because now we got a 70 mile per hour tag and then a damage indicator here. Oh wait, no, that's the same one. That's just a semi tipped over. Maybe this is a retro report. No, maybe not. As far as the 70 mile per hour tag is concerned.
No, but I think that um, that new polygon that just flashed on uh, kind of corroborates what you were just saying, though. That
Bless you. That's going on bloopers.
yeah,
You good?
I think it corroborates that the most energetic part of the storm is shifting westward.
Yeah. Well, Kyle was the one that picked up on that first, but I kind of see what's going on here. Because we had that 60 mile per hour tag just to the east of Chamberlain, then the 100, which was absolutely crazy. Now the 70, and then the. And also, you see that little bit of a surge right there in winds over towards Kennebec again. So, it's interesting stuff going on there as far as how the storm is back building. As long as it continues to back build, it'll have a chance. Not a great chance, but it'll have a chance.
Hey, switch to the Aberdeen just because that like western area is just outside Sioux Falls radar. You see like the circle it only goes to between Chamberlain and whatever town that is to the west of it.
Right.
Yeah, it's you can switch between radar sites now without having to worry
Like
about
northeast, I think.
anything really.
Yeah, I'm trying to get used to it honestly. I'm uh like even then just like realizing that I can actually play this on loop now without an issue. It's just it's kind of crazy to me. But I see what you're talking about though. And then like a new area will start to form. I'm gonna guess pre-show is gonna be next to see something pretty crazy with this. It almost seems like the forward speed of the storm is like kind of slowed now though too because of the fact that it's back building. Listen, Isaiah, I'm the one who makes bloopers, okay? Not you.
Yeah, but he could clip it.
Yeah, and it still won't get used. How about that? This is one of the times where I will flaunt my powers. If you make your own version of bloopers, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm just kidding. Oh, you can do
How
that.
do you say that sound? That's like Iona. Is it Iona or I, Iana?
I
Yeah, I
could.
think you're saying great. I
I
think it's
think the.
Iona.
I think it would be Iona. I'm not entirely sure. Oh look, it's Hamill. I think I remember that town being hit by a storm years ago. Maybe a tornado. I don't know. Or it was near a tornado. I have to look that up actually. But I remember that town name, Hamill, being affected by something.
See, these town names sound like obscure clubs.
Like what?
Like they're like hipster club names.
The Hamill, Iona.
No, like Reliance and Ideal.
Oh, that's even worse.
Is that Mosher right there? Bottom left.
Yes, it is. All right. That's pretty sick right there. I wish I wish I had like some sort of riff that could be brought up on here for like maybe 5 seconds. Like a really fast like a thrash metal type riff or pop or a hard like a punk rock type riff like kind of like a 90s punk rock type riff. I need I need to work on
Like
more of
like
that stuff. Huh?
like a bunch of eighth notes. Like you're talking like a bunch of like eighth notes 4/4 type thing, or
Yeah, hardcore. Something hardcore. So if we see a town with a really cool name that's almost like kind of metal sounding, that needs to be a thing too. Just because
and then would you do the polka beat, or what beat would you do?
I don't know. I'd have to figure it
Like
out.
the
Yeah, just something fast.
or you could. I wonder if you paired it with blast beats, how that would sound with eighth notes.
Hmm.
I saw. I may probably go from like punk rock to I don't know if there's a such thing as like brutal punk rock, but
Easy core.
Grindcore.
No, easy core.
Oh, easy core.
is that a real genre? Easy core?
Yeah.
What the? I've never heard of that.
Chunk no Captain Chunk.
I
Oh,
think I've heard of
that's what.
that.
Wait, that's what they are?
Yeah, easy core.
Oh wow. Who would have thought?
It's like major key pop punk with breakdowns and harsh vocals.
Oh,
Sure.
it's interesting actually. I never really got into them though.
I didn't either, but like kind of got to respect the the duality of the aesthetic.
Yeah, or just trying to be different. I can respect that.
kind of like the continuation of like Newfound Glory started to sound a little bit more hardcore, or some 41 or something like that. It's like you just got to escalate it to the next level.
Mm. Just like with every other subgenre of music, especially metal.
It's not dubcore, it's death step.
Yeah, my vocals sound weak tonight. I feel it. My vocals feel weak. It might have sounded okay, but they feel weak. Come on, are you going to do something? Stop making me mad. We're really not
No, it
actually.
looks like that area near Kimball, like on the back side of it, is a little bit stronger too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I just hate how it's teasing us.
It's just not one. It's like it's definitely a complex of storms. It's not one cohesive storm.
Could she? Well, it's almost like we're Tom and we're singing to that one cat with the little with a little improvised like string instrument. Is like, is you is or is you not gonna produce? No one thought that was funny.
I don't know the reference.
Tom and Jerry?
Oh.
You didn't watch Tom and Jerry?
No, for some reason I thought you meant like Tom DeLonge.
Oh wow.
I was thinking about pop punk, dude.
Oh, but you never did but like seriously, you never watched Tom and Jerry.
Of course, I've seen Tom and Jerry.
But you know when he's singing to like the female cat and he's like, "Is you is or is you not my baby?" That song.
No, I don't think that must have been like a
It was an episode.
reboot, like when it was reanimated.
Yeah, I think so. But even then, like that, like he was messing with Jerry, of course, at that time too. Like he was bullying Jerry in the process. Like, so you know how Jerry had his house like towards like the bottom of whatever, right? So when Tom was playing that song, of course he was disturbing Jerry who was sleeping, and Jerry got mad and basically started trying to C block him.
Tom and Jerry are actually friends, dude. They just pretend to hate each other.
No, I know they're friends, but basically he proceeded to basically stop him from getting any sort of action from that cat. It was funny, but no, I know if one.
Isaiah's mad. Isaiah's getting impatient here.
Yeah, Isaiah's angry as I don't know what. He's like, listen, I want to see you produce or not produce, okay? Well, in all fairness, what do you guys think we should do? What do you two think we should? What should we do here? Should we call it a night, or should we go for it, or should we see what happens?
So, so there's a new mesoscale discussion, but they're just talking about damaging gusts and hail threat may persist south-southeast. So they're saying if the storm track moves more towards the south, that as far as you could have like a hail and the wind threat still, but if it moves east, that there's some inhibition that's going to weaken it. So and there's also like the lack of this lower level jet too. So I guess ultimately it looks like it's turning into an MCS of like more like a wind and hail threat, and I see like the tornado threat diminishing quite a bit.
Yeah, that's 100%.
That was
I agree with that.
yeah. I mean, I was kind of calling that, but the storm just kept on trying to flirt with us almost.
I know, dude, but you can't answer the call of the siren because she will drag you down to the depths of the sea and you will die.
Yeah, it really had us edging. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. I am blue bald, let me tell you.
Oh my god. All right, and on that note, it's time to go. On that note, it's time to go. Well, I guess really at the end of the day, this served its purpose as far as checking out how the computer worked. But
Yeah, it works well, I would say.
yeah, it'll be nice
Absolutely.
to actually switch over to actual like camera feeds and stuff, and more active events in the future. So it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun, especially once we get that second screen, which we've gone one step closer to getting that. So really, really excited. But to whoever is still watching, big thanks to you. Yes, Isaiah, I timed you out because you want to be out because you want us to stream until 6 in the morning. But
Oh, by the way, that mesoscale discussion became a new watch area, so they did extend it a little bit to the south.
figures. But yeah, we're gonna call it a night here. Well, there's a as it stands right now, I think there's a marginal risk for tomorrow. In fact, I'm gonna
Yeah, a couple areas at 2% and hail. Possible one.
Oh wait, it went up. Oh wait, they upgraded it to slight now. Ooh, could we do a hail stream tomorrow? Maybe.
What the hell?
Maybe that should actually be a title. What the hail?
Yeah, you guys got this. You'll have to have Bakener fill in for me because I gotta work tomorrow till like 9:30 your time.
Oof. We'll see what happens with it, and then of course day 3 there's also slight risk. Dang,
Dude, that
that
is a
streak's
weird
continue.
Yeah.
looking slight risk on day 3.
Yeah, it is.
It's like a fidget spinner.
That's what Mother Nature has been. It's been like a raging fidget spinner, just angry at everybody this year. But yeah, I think, like I said, we're calling it a night here, folks. Appreciate you all being here. Appreciate the donations and the brand new subs. Hope you enjoy the channel. Video should be up in the morning unless the unthinkable happens once again. But until that next video, it's been Metalhead Weatherman crew, and you guys have a good night, man. See you in the morning.
If you're trying to think of a name for like the collective Thai motherhead, what metal?
I can't call it. I can't call
God
it
damn
time
it.
metal weatherman because it's so much more than just me
Well,
at
you
that
could
point.
call it. You could say the metalhead weathermen. See what I'm saying?
But Kyle and Isaiah, not Kyle, but sorry Kyle, but Baconator and Isaiah are not metalheads, or not quite. So
Then they gotta learn. You gotta learn how to be a
metalheads.
metalhead weatherman.
True, true. Well, in that case, then that's what it'll be. So this is the Metalhead Weatherman crew signing out. You guys have a good night. We'll see you next time. Yeah, I'll give you this goodness right here too. I actually have to
He'll,
adjust the screen.
he'll give you the goodness.